There is no struggle to become the best. You do not chase greatness, you assume it. You do not plead with the world to recognize your worth. You declare it within, and the world bows to your certainty. Most people believe they must fight their way to success. Yet all true power comes from a still mind that has already accepted its victory. To become the best, you must follow rules that most will never understand. Assume the feeling of already being the greatest version of yourself. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are in consciousness. If you feel inferior, the world confirms it. If you walk as a champion, life has no choice but to reflect it. Second, speak only in alignment with your vision. Every word you utter is a seed planted in the soil of reality. Never declare weakness, lack, or uncertainty. If you must speak, speak as one who already holds the prize. Third, do not seek validation from others. The moment you require permission to be great, you have already lost. Stand firm in your assumption and let the world adjust itself to your belief. Fourth, detach from circumstances. The outer world is only the echo of past states of mind. If you see failure, understand that it is not final, it is simply a reflection of old thoughts. Persist in your new assumption and the shadow must change. Fifth, remain silent about your progress. When you speak of your desires as unfinished, you reinforce the idea that they are out of reach. Keep your vision sacred, nurture them in silence, and let results speak for themselves. Never waver. The greatest mistake people make is shifting between doubt and belief. If you have assumed the state of greatness, hold it, remain faithful to it, and soon the world will prove you right. You do not need effort to become the best, you need certainty. Follow these rules, and soon you will find that the best version of yourself was never something to achieve, but something you were meant to remember. Your life is nothing more than a reflection of what you believe to be true about yourself. Every experience, every person you meet, every opportunity that comes your way is a direct manifestation of the thoughts you hold consistently in your mind. If you believe yourself to be limited, the world will only show you obstacles. If you believe yourself to be powerful, the world will shape itself around that belief. This is the simple yet profound truth that governs all things. Imagination creates reality. Most people live their lives reacting to what they see, never realizing that what they see is simply the result of past thoughts. They wake up every day looking at their surroundings and believe that what is in front of them is all there is. They fail to grasp that their outer world is only an echo, a delayed reflection of the thoughts and assumptions they have entertained over time. The truth is, reality does not exist independent of your consciousness. The circumstances you find yourself in today were shaped by the beliefs you held yesterday. And if you want to change your future, you must first change the assumptions you hold in the present moment. There is no force in the universe more powerful than your imagination. What you imagine, you become. The key to transformation is assuming the feeling of already being the best. You do not wait for proof. You do not wait for the world to confirm it. You declare it as true within yourself, and the world must conform. This is the greatest secret of all success. It is not about effort, struggle, or competition. It is about identity. If you see yourself as someone who must work tirelessly to earn your place, you will always find yourself struggling. But if you assume yourself to be already at the top, if you feel the power of that truth as if it were already fact, the world will shift to reflect that assumption. The mistake most people make is believing that imagination is separate from reality. They think of it as a place to escape, rather than the source from which all things are born. But imagination is not just a tool. It is the very fabric of existence. Everything that has ever been created first existed in someone's mind. The greatest empires, the most astonishing inventions, the most legendary figures in history, each one of them first imagined themselves as great, before the world acknowledged it. They lived in that assumption long before anyone else could see it. When you assume yourself to be the best, you do not wait for the world to tell you that you are. You act from that state now. You walk, speak, and carry yourself as though it is already done. And the world, being nothing more than a mirror, has no choice but to reflect that back to you. This is why those who are truly successful do not appear desperate. They do not chase, they do not beg, they do not seek validation. They know who they are, and because they know, the world aligns accordingly. Your imagination is the creator of your reality, whether you realize it or not. If you consistently imagine yourself as struggling, unworthy, or incapable, then that is what your world will confirm. But the moment you shift, the moment you dare to assume a new state and persist in it, everything must change. It does not matter what your past was. It does not matter what anyone else says. The only thing that matters is the belief you hold now. And if you assume the state of being the best, if you persist in that assumption as if it were already true, you will watch your life transform before your eyes. There is nothing outside of you that is more powerful than what is within you. Your imagination is the script writer of your destiny. Do not waste another moment doubting or waiting for permission. Assume the feeling of already being the best, and reality will bow to your conviction. There is no need to struggle to become great, for greatness is not something you chase, it is something you assume. Most people live their lives striving, hoping, and wishing for a future that always seems just out of reach. They measure their progress by external conditions, believing that once they achieve a certain goal, then they will finally feel successful, confident, or worthy. But this is a flawed approach. The truth is, you do not become great by effort. You become great by assumption. You must live from the end, seeing yourself as already having arrived, already possessing all that you seek. When you do this, the world has no choice but to conform. Every event in your life is a reflection of the assumptions you hold about yourself. If you see yourself as someone who is still trying, still working towards success, then that is the reality that will persist. The feeling of being almost there will never go away because you have assumed a state of incompleteness. But when you dare to assume that you are already where you wish to be, everything begins to shift. You no longer act from a place of lack, of wanting, or of needing. Instead, you move with certainty, confidence, and the quiet assurance of one who knows they have already arrived. Living from the end means embodying the state of your fulfilled desire in the present moment. It is not about waiting for conditions to change before you feel successful. It is about feeling successful now, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. Most people believe that their feelings must follow their circumstances, but in reality, it is the other way around. Your circumstances follow your feelings. When you assume the feeling of already being great, of already possessing what you desire, your world begins to shift to reflect that assumption. The mistake many make is thinking that they must first see evidence before they believe. But belief does not come from evidence, evidence comes from belief. Look at those who have truly achieved greatness. They did not wait for the world to recognize them before they saw themselves as worthy. They assumed their greatness first, and the world simply followed. They spoke, walked, and carried themselves as though they had already won, long before anyone else saw it. That is the power of assumption. If you want to transform your life, stop trying to become and start assuming that you already are. You do not need permission. You do not need external proof. All you need is the conviction that what you desire is already yours. Once you assume this state and persist in it, the world will shape itself around your belief. People will begin to treat you differently. Opportunities will present themselves effortlessly. Things that once seemed impossible will become natural and expected. The secret to all success lies in this simple truth. You must act as if it is already done. You must move through the world not as one who is hoping for change, but as one who knows the change has already occurred. You must feel it so deeply that the outer world has no choice but to align with your assumption. This is not about pretending or wishful thinking. It is about stepping into a new reality by assuming its truth. If you continue to chase greatness, it will always remain ahead of you. But if you assume that you are already great, then your actions, your thoughts, and your entire being will naturally align with that truth. The world is nothing more than a reflection of your state of consciousness. Change your assumption and you change everything. Live from the end and watch as the world adjusts to your certainty. There is immense power in silence. The world teaches us to announce our plans, to seek validation, to explain ourselves to others, but this is a mistake. When you constantly speak of what you are doing, of what you hope to achieve, you dissipate your energy. You invite unnecessary opinions, doubts, and resistance into something that is still in the process of becoming. True power does not need to prove itself. It moves in silence, allowing results to speak louder than words. Most people feel the need to share their ambitions with others, thinking that external support will strengthen their resolve. But more often than not, speaking of your plans only exposes them to doubt and skepticism. When you tell others what you are working toward, you risk absorbing their limitations, their fears, and their disbelief. Their words may seem harmless, but they plant seeds of uncertainty in your mind, and if you are not careful, those seeds will take root, weakening your conviction and delaying your manifestation. The wisest approach is to keep your vision sacred. Let it grow in the quiet depths of your mind, untouched by the opinions of those who do not see what you see. Speak less of what you are doing and more of what you already are in your mind. This is the key to true transformation. Instead of saying, "I am trying to become successful," say within yourself, "I am successful." Instead of telling others about your struggles, affirm to yourself that the victory is already won. The world does not respond to effort. It responds to assumption. When you hold the belief that your success is already a fact, you no longer feel the need to explain, justify, or seek approval. You simply are, and the world follows. There is a reason the most powerful individuals are often the most reserved. They do not waste words. They do not seek validation. They know who they are, and because they know, they do not need to convince anyone else. This is a lesson few ever learn. Most people speak too soon, exposing their dreams before they are fully formed. They allow external voices to shake their faith, and in doing so, they delay their own progress. But those who understand the power of silence move differently. They do not announce their next move. They do not explain themselves. They work in the shadows, allowing their success to reveal itself in due time. Your vision is your own. It does not need to be understood by others. In fact, the more you keep it to yourself, the stronger it becomes. When you hold a vision in silence, you allow it to take deep root within you, undisturbed by external noise. You nurture it with belief, with inner conviction, until it hardens into reality. This is the way of true power. Those who waste energy talking about what they will do rarely achieve it. But those who remain silent, who move with quiet certainty, always seem to accomplish the impossible. If you truly believe in your vision, you do not need to declare it. You do not need to explain it to anyone. You simply become it. Keep your dreams protected, away from doubters, away from those who cannot see what you see. Let your actions, your results, and your very presence speak for themselves. There is no greater power than a mind that knows its own truth and remains unmoved by the noise of the world. Speak less, assume more, and watch as reality bends to your silent, unwavering conviction. Your current reality is nothing more than a reflection of your past thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs. It is not a fixed truth, nor is it an indicator of what is possible for you. The mistake most people make is allowing what they see in the present moment to define who they are and what they believe they can achieve. But this is an illusion. If you want to change your life, you must first detach from your circumstances and refuse to let them dictate your self-image. Most people wake up each day and immediately react to what is in front of them. They look at their financial situation, their relationships, their job, and they assume that these things define them. If they see struggle, they believe they are struggling. If they see lack, they believe they are lacking. But what they fail to realize is that what they see today is simply the result of past thoughts. Their current reality is just an echo of an old state of mind. And because they continue to accept it as truth, they keep recreating the same experiences over and over again. If you want to step into a new reality, you must stop reacting to what is in front of you and start assuming the truth of what you desire. Your self-image should not be shaped by your current conditions. It should be shaped by your inner vision of who you choose to be. This means that even if your bank account shows little money, you do not identify as someone who is broke. Even if you are alone, you do not identify as someone who is unloved. Even if your career is not where you want it to be, you do not see yourself as someone who is stuck. Instead, you assume the identity of the person you wish to become. You detach from what your senses are telling you and trust in the unseen reality that is forming beneath the surface. Detachment does not mean ignoring your circumstances or pretending they do not exist. It means understanding that they are temporary, that they have no real power over you unless you allow them to. It means choosing to remain unaffected by what is in front of you because you know it is subject to change. The outer world is always shifting, always adjusting to reflect your state of mind. The moment you shift internally, the world must follow. But if you continue to let your present conditions define you, you will never break free from them. Look at those who have achieved great things. They did not let their beginnings determine their endings. They did not allow their temporary struggles to shape their identity. Instead, they saw themselves as successful before anyone else did. They detached from their circumstances and assumed the feeling of already being where they wanted to be. And because they did this, their reality shifted to match their assumption. This is the secret to all transformation. You must live from the truth of your inner vision, not from the evidence of your current reality. You must trust that your thoughts are planting the seeds of your future, even if you do not yet see the results. Do not be discouraged by what appears to be. Instead, remind yourself that what you see is merely a reflection of old thinking. It is not your final destination. It is not who you are. Detach from the circumstances that do not align with your vision. Hold firm in your belief of what is possible. See yourself as already having what you desire, and refuse to waver in that assumption. When you do this, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect your new state. Reality is fluid, not fixed. And when you detach from what is and focus only on what you desire, you will watch as everything shifts in your favor. The key to transforming your life lies in persistence. It is not enough to merely wish for change, to briefly imagine a new reality, or to affirm something a few times and hope it appears. True manifestation requires unwavering faith, an inner certainty so strong that no external circumstance can shake it. You must persist in your assumption until it hardens into fact, until the world has no choice but to conform to your belief. Many people give up too soon. They plant the seed of a new idea but fail to nurture it. They start imagining their desired outcome but allow doubt to creep in when they do not see immediate results. They look to the outside world for confirmation, and when they see no change, they waver. But this is precisely where most fail, because they do not understand that the unseen reality is already in motion. What you hold in your mind consistently must materialize, but only if you refuse to let go of it before it fully manifests. Your assumption is like a seed buried in the soil. At first you see nothing. There is no sign of growth, no visible proof that anything is happening. But beneath the surface, the roots are forming, the energy is building, and the process is underway. If you were to dig up the seed every day to check if it is growing, you would disrupt its progress. This is what happens when you allow doubt to take hold. The moment you question whether your assumption is working, you weaken its foundation. The only way to ensure that it hardens into fact is to persist, without needing reassurance from the outside world. Persistence means maintaining your assumption in the face of opposition. It means refusing to be swayed by circumstances that seem contradictory to your desire. If you wish to be wealthy, you do not allow a temporary lack of money to define you. If you seek love, you do not let moments of loneliness convince you that you are unloved. If you desire success, you do not let failure shake your belief in your inevitable triumph. No matter what appears before you, you hold firm to your inner conviction, knowing that the world is simply catching up to your assumption. The truth is, everything you now experience was once just a thought. Everything you have, everything you are, and everything you struggle with was at one point accepted by you, whether consciously or unconsciously. Your present reality is simply the hardened result of past thinking. And just as you created your current circumstances, you have the power to create new ones. But to do so, you must persist. You must hold on to the vision of what you desire until it becomes so real within you that the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Think of the great figures throughout history, those who overcame impossible odds, who defied expectations, who achieved what others believed was unattainable. They did not succeed because circumstances favored them. They succeeded because they refused to let go of their vision. They persisted, despite failure, despite resistance, despite every reason to give up. They held on to their belief until it hardened into fact. This is the power you hold. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is your ability to persist in your assumption. Do not allow fleeting doubts to steal your vision. Do not waver when things seem unchanged. The moment you decide that your assumption is real, it begins to take shape. And if you hold that belief with unwavering faith, it must become your reality. Persist until it hardens into fact. Refuse to accept anything less than the fulfillment of your desire. And when the world finally conforms to your assumption, you will understand that it was never the world that had to change. It was always you. Your inner conversations are the blueprint of your reality. Every moment of every day, you are engaged in an internal dialogue, whether you realize it or not. You are always talking to yourself, reacting, interpreting, and assigning meaning to the events around you. But few people understand the true power of these inner conversations. They assume their thoughts are random, insignificant, or merely reflections of the world they see. In truth, the opposite is happening. The world they see is a reflection of the thoughts they hold. If you wish to change your life, you must first change how you speak to yourself. Most people allow their inner dialogue to be dictated by their circumstances. When they encounter failure, they reinforce it with thoughts like, "I can't do this," or "things never work out for me." When they feel unappreciated, they think, "No one values me," or "I am always overlooked." These thoughts may seem harmless, but they are not. They are instructions given to the subconscious mind, which then shapes external reality to match them. Every assumption you hold internally is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness, and in time it will bear fruit. This is why you must be selective with your inner conversations. If you constantly affirm limitation, struggle, and failure within, your outer world will conform to those beliefs. But if you choose to speak to yourself as though you are already at the top, as though you have already achieved all that you desire, the world must adjust to reflect that inner assumption. You must assume the role of the person you wish to become, not just in your actions, but in your thoughts. Speak to yourself with confidence, assurance, and certainty, as if your success is already a fact. This does not mean simply repeating affirmations mechanically. It means truly embodying the state of mind that belongs to the person you seek to be. If you desire wealth, do not entertain thoughts of lack. If you desire love, do not hold inner conversations of rejection and loneliness. If you desire success, do not dwell on fears of failure. Train your mind to think from the perspective of already having what you want. Let every inner dialogue reflect that reality. Observe how you speak to yourself throughout the day. When you make a mistake, do you criticize yourself or do you respond with understanding and encouragement? When challenges arise, do you see them as obstacles or do you affirm that everything is working in your favor? When you think of your future, do you feel anxiety or do you confidently declare that you are on the right path? These inner conversations are shaping your destiny. What you accept within will manifest without. The great mistake people make is believing that they must first see change in the external world before they can change their inner dialogue. But this is backwards. The world is only responding to what you habitually assume to be true. If you want to shift your reality, you must first shift the way you speak to yourself. Assume success, and success will follow. Assume confidence, and confidence will become your nature. Assume abundance, and you will begin to see abundance everywhere. Your words carry power, not just the words you speak aloud, but the words you whisper to yourself when no one else is listening. Do not allow negative assumptions to take root in your mind. Be disciplined in your inner conversations. Speak to yourself as someone who is already victorious, already respected, already in possession of all they desire. And when you do, you will find that the world cannot help but reflect that back to you. The journey to becoming the best version of yourself is not found in effort alone, but in the mastery of your inner world. Your imagination creates your reality, so you must see yourself as already being the person you wish to become. Live from the end, assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, and let the world adjust to your conviction. Guard your vision in silence, keeping it sacred from doubters. Detach from circumstances, knowing that what you see is only a reflection of past thoughts, not your ultimate potential. Persist with unwavering faith until your assumption hardens into fact. And above all, be selective with your inner conversations. Speak to yourself as though your success is already a reality, and the world will mirror it back to you. Your life is shaped by the thoughts you hold most consistently. Choose them wisely. Walk with confidence, knowing that what you assume to be true within must eventually manifest in your external world. Believe in your greatness, persist in your vision, and you will see it unfold before your very eyes. Thank you. There comes a moment in life when you must decide, not hope, not wish, but decide. And in that moment, everything changes. For too long, you have waited for the world to notice you, for someone to choose you, for validation to confirm your worth. But life does not work that way. The world is a mirror, and it reflects back only what you accept as true about yourself. The day you choose yourself is the day the world has no choice but to choose you. What does it mean to choose yourself? It means no longer standing in the shadows of doubt. It means realizing that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, that the script of your life is not written by the opinions of others. It is written by you, by your assumptions, by the deep conviction that you are already the person you desire to be. If you believe yourself to be overlooked, unworthy, or undeserving, the world will faithfully reflect that back to you. But the instant you declare, without need for proof, that you are already chosen, already successful, already loved, the unseen forces of life begin rearranging themselves to match your new belief. Think about it. Has not everything you have ever achieved first started as a decision within you? The relationships you have, the opportunities you encounter, the abundance you receive, all of it flows from your own inner acceptance. You do not need to chase, to plead, to convince. That is the way of those who have not yet chosen themselves. Instead, you assume. You assume your place at the table. You assume the role of the one who is wanted, respected, admired. And when you assume it, the world bends to match your assumption. It is not arrogance. It is alignment. Do not wait for signs. Do not wait for someone else to say you are enough. The moment you declare it to be so, the universe moves. So choose yourself fully, completely, without hesitation, and watch as everything effortlessly begins to change. The moment you decide you are worthy, the world begins to reflect that worthiness back to you. It is an unshakable truth, one that has been at work in your life whether you realized it or not. Every experience, every interaction, every opportunity or lack thereof has been a direct reflection of the way you see yourself. Until you choose yourself, life will treat you as optional. The world does not single out individuals for success or failure. It simply mirrors back the assumptions they hold about their own place in it. For too long, you may have believed that external factors shape your life. You may have thought that circumstances, luck, or the actions of others determine your value. But the reality is this: your world is shaped by what you accept as true about yourself. If you walk through life feeling uncertain, if you hesitate to believe in your own worth, the world will confirm that hesitation. Opportunities will slip through your fingers, people will overlook you, and you will wonder why life seems to pass you by. But the moment you choose yourself, the moment you declare that you are no longer an afterthought, everything begins to shift. You no longer wait for approval, for someone else to acknowledge your value. You do not need to prove yourself to be chosen, you simply accept that you already are. This is the unseen shift that changes everything. Look around at those who seem to attract success effortlessly. They are not waiting for permission. They are not questioning whether they are enough. They have already chosen themselves, and the world has responded accordingly. Their confidence is not a result of their success. Their success is a result of their confidence. The difference between them and those who struggle is not talent, luck, or external validation. It is the decision to be worthy. The world is not designed to convince you of your worth. It does not send signs to assure you that you are ready. Instead, it waits for you to decide. And once you do, the shift is undeniable. The way people respond to you changes. Opportunities arise that seemed impossible before. You begin to attract experiences that align with your newfound self-concept, not because the world has changed, but because you have. This shift does not require struggle. It is not about effort, force, or trying harder. It is about alignment. It is about accepting, without question, that you are enough. Not tomorrow, not when you have achieved a certain goal, not when someone else validates you, but now. The moment you claim it, it is done. Many people go through life never realizing this. They wait. They wait for someone to pick them, for the right moment, for an external confirmation that they are deserving. But life does not work that way. As long as you place your worth outside of yourself, it will always feel just out of reach. You will continue to chase, to strive, to hope, only to find that the validation you seek remains elusive. But those who choose themselves do not wait. They step forward as if they have already been chosen. And in doing so, the world responds in kind. This is why some walk into a room and command attention without saying a word. It is why some receive opportunities without effort, while others struggle for years. It is not luck. It is a deep, unwavering knowing that they belong. Imagine living with that certainty. Imagine never second-guessing yourself, never questioning whether you are good enough, never seeking external validation. Imagine deciding right now that you are worthy, that you deserve the life you desire, that you are already the person you wish to become. The shift is internal, but its effects are undeniable. When you walk with the energy of someone who has chosen themselves, everything changes. The world will no longer overlook you because you no longer overlook yourself. You will find yourself being considered, included, invited, not because something outside of you changed, but because you finally aligned with the truth of your own worth. It is not arrogance. It is not self-delusion. It is simply recognizing that the world is a mirror, reflecting back what you believe to be true about yourself. If you have spent years believing you are not enough, life has shown you evidence of that belief. But the moment you decide otherwise, life must reflect that back to you as well. This is the power of choosing yourself. It is not about forcing the world to see you differently. It is about seeing yourself differently and letting the world catch up. And once you do, there is no going back. You will never again settle for less, because you will know deeply and unquestionably that you were never meant to. For far too long, many have lived their lives waiting. They wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, the perfect set of circumstances. But perhaps the greatest thing they wait for is permission. The permission to be who they truly are, to pursue their dreams, to live the life they've always imagined. They wait for someone or something to grant them the go-ahead, to tell them now is the time. Yet the truth is simple, and it is this: no one is coming. No one is coming to give you permission to live the life you desire. The only authority you need is your own self-concept. We live in a world where it is easy to look outside of ourselves for validation and approval. We seek out mentors, role models, bosses, and peers, believing that they hold the keys to our success. We wait for them to recognize our potential, to tell us we are worthy, to grant us the green light to move forward. We spend years hoping that someone else will give us the acknowledgement we feel we need to take action. But the truth remains, no one else can give you permission to be yourself. The power has always been within you. This is not to say that mentorship and guidance are not valuable. They absolutely are. However, the real shift occurs when you realize that the permission to act, to change, to grow has always been yours. It is not something granted by someone else. It is something you must grant to yourself. You do not need to wait for external circumstances to align. You do not need to wait for the world to recognize your worth. The moment you recognize your worth within yourself is the moment everything begins to shift. It is easy to feel like an outsider, to feel as though you are constantly seeking approval from others to make decisions that align with your true self. But this sense of waiting is often rooted in a belief that you need someone else's affirmation to move forward. You may feel uncertain, insecure, or unsure if you're doing the right thing. Yet, the real breakthrough happens when you realize that you are the authority in your life. You do not need anyone's permission to be who you are, to pursue your goals, or to live the life you desire. The only thing holding you back is your own belief that you need someone else's approval to move forward. When you give yourself permission, you stop waiting for the ideal moment and start creating your own opportunities. You stop looking outside yourself for validation and start trusting your inner guidance. You stop playing small because you believe you are worthy of the life you dream of. You give yourself the power to move forward, not based on the approval of others, but based on your own belief in your ability to create the life you want. This is a radical shift, but it is the most empowering choice you can make. Imagine living your life without the need for permission. Imagine stepping into every room with the unshakable knowledge that you are enough as you are. Imagine walking through life knowing that your dreams are not dependent on others' approval. Instead, they are fueled by your own self-belief, your own commitment to what you know is possible for you. This is how life is meant to be lived, boldly, unapologetically, and with full ownership over your decisions and your future. One of the greatest things we can do is stop waiting for permission from others to take action. When you decide that your desires are worthy of pursuing and that you have the authority to do so, the world begins to align. The people who are meant to support you will show up, the opportunities will appear, and everything you once thought was out of reach becomes attainable. Not because you waited for someone else's approval, but because you decided to act on your own terms. The world is full of people who have waited for someone to tell them they are ready, that they have what it takes. But those who achieve greatness don't wait for permission. They decide for themselves that they are ready. They trust their intuition, they trust their own vision, and they trust the path they are on, no matter how uncertain it may seem at the start. You will never find fulfillment by waiting for someone else to give you the go-ahead. You will never feel complete by seeking external validation. True fulfillment comes from within, from the understanding that you already possess everything you need to create the life you desire. The only thing left to do is take the first step and give yourself permission to begin. The moment you do, you will realize that the power to change your life has always been in your hands, waiting for you to claim it. You do not need anyone to tell you that you are ready. You are ready the moment you decide to step into your power and act on your own authority. The only permission you need is your own. Give it to yourself and everything will begin to change. Your reality is not a random series of events. It is not a chaotic mess of circumstances that merely happen to you. Your reality is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. It bends to your self-measured, for your inner concept of who you are shapes the world you experience. The world does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you believe you are. This truth is the key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of, because once you realize this, you can transform your world by transforming the way you see yourself. We all carry an image of who we are in our minds. This self-image is shaped by our past experiences, our upbringing, and the stories we tell ourselves about our worth and our potential. It becomes the lens through which we interpret the world. And just as a pair of glasses filters the light that enters your eyes, your self-image filters the way you perceive and interact with reality. If you see yourself as unworthy, incapable, or undeserving of success, the world will reflect that belief. You will encounter obstacles that seem to confirm your doubts, and opportunities will appear just out of reach. But if you choose to see yourself differently, if you choose to elevate your self-position, the world has no choice but to conform to that new image. When you choose to see yourself as worthy, successful, and powerful, the universe begins to rearrange itself to match that new image. People will start treating you differently, opportunities will begin to open up, and the challenges that once seemed insurmountable will begin to feel manageable. Not because the external world has changed, but because you have changed the way you see yourself. This is not about wishing or hoping for a better life. It is about aligning yourself with the truth of who you are, beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. The moment you begin to see yourself as successful, capable, and deserving, your reality must shift to match that belief. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. Not the idea that simply thinking about something will make it appear, but rather the understanding that your self-position is the magnetic force that pulls opportunities, people, and experiences into your life. Too often, people find themselves stuck in a cycle of wanting but never achieving. They set goals, they take action, but somehow success eludes them. The reason is simple. Their self-image does not match their desires. They may want success, but they do not truly believe they are worthy of it. Their subconscious beliefs about themselves keep them locked in a state of limitation, no matter how hard they try to break free. This is why people can work tirelessly towards a goal but still feel like they are getting nowhere. It is not that they lack effort or talent, it is that their self-image is not in alignment with what they want to achieve. They may be chasing success, but deep down they do not believe they are the kind of person who can attain it. And until that internal image shifts, the external world will continue to reflect their doubts. But when you choose to believe in your own worth, when you choose to see yourself as capable, deserving, and powerful, the world responds. The way people treat you shifts. Opportunities that were once out of reach begin to appear, and even the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now seem like manageable challenges. Why? Because your self-position has changed, and so your reality must conform to it. This is the secret to transforming your life. It is not about working harder or trying more strategies. It is about changing your self-perception. The way you view yourself determines how you interact with the world, and the way you interact with the world determines what you receive in return. If you see yourself as small, insignificant, or powerless, your reality will reflect that. But if you see yourself as powerful, worthy, and deserving of everything you desire, the world will begin to reflect that back to you. This is not about pretending to be something you're not. It is about stepping into the truth of who you are and shedding the false beliefs and limitations that have held you back. You are not defined by your past. You are not defined by the failures you've experienced or the mistakes you've made. You are defined by the image you hold of yourself in your mind. The moment you choose to see yourself as the person you want to be, you unlock the power to create the life you desire. You are the creator of your reality. The way you see yourself dictates the life you live. When you choose to see yourself as worthy, powerful, and deserving, your world has no choice but to change. Opportunities will flow to you, people will begin to support you, and success will come to you effortlessly, not because you are chasing it, but because you have aligned yourself with it. This is the law of the universe in action. Your reality bends to your self-image. When you choose to elevate the way you see yourself, the world must conform. The moment you stop seeking approval from others, you unlock your true power. This is not just a motivational phrase. It is the key to your personal transformation. For much of your life, you may have sought validation from external sources, whether it was from family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers on social media. You've lived your life waiting for the approval of others, to feel worthy, to feel successful, or even to feel seen. But the truth is simple: you are the source, not the reflection. The moment you stop looking outside of yourself for approval, you step into a place of true freedom, where your power no longer depends on anyone else's judgment. For so long, we have been conditioned to rely on external validation to feel good about ourselves. From a young age, we are taught that our worth is tied to what others think of us. We receive praise when we meet expectations, and we experience disappointment or shame when we fall short. This constant back and forth of seeking approval and fearing disapproval creates a cycle of dependency, where our sense of self-worth is governed by how others perceive us. This cycle can leave us feeling trapped, as though our happiness, success, and even our identity are out of our control, tied to factors outside of ourselves. But the truth is far more empowering. Your worth has never been tied to anyone else's opinion. The approval you seek from others is nothing more than a reflection of your own beliefs about yourself. When you seek approval, you are essentially outsourcing your power. You are giving someone else the control over how you feel about yourself. And when you do that, you surrender your true power. You allow the world to define who you are rather than defining it for yourself. This detachment from external validation is not about being indifferent to the opinions of others. It's not about ignoring constructive feedback or dismissing the value of relationships. Instead, it's about releasing the need for approval to determine your worth. You must recognize that your value is inherent and independent of what others think of you. When you detach from this need for validation, you create a space where your actions are no longer motivated by a desire to please others, but by a deep connection to your own truth. The moment you stop seeking approval, you unlock a level of freedom that few ever experience. You stop chasing after people's opinions, and you stop changing who you are to fit what others want. Or instead, you begin to act from a place of authenticity. Your choices are no longer driven by fear of rejection or failure, but by the confidence that comes from knowing you are enough just as you are. You stop worrying about how you will be received, and you start focusing on how you can serve your own purpose, fulfill your own desires, and express your own truth. This shift in mindset has a profound impact on your life. When you stop seeking validation, you stop feeling like you need to prove yourself to others. You no longer live in the constant anxiety of wondering if you are good enough. You no longer live in the fear of making mistakes or being judged. Instead, you become your own source of validation. You trust yourself, your abilities, and your worth. Your internal sense of confidence becomes the foundation for everything you do, and the approval you once sought from others becomes irrelevant. Detaching from external validation also frees you from the limitations others may impose upon you. When you are constantly seeking approval, you may find yourself conforming to the expectations of others, stifling your true desires and dreams in the process. You may find yourself living a life that isn't truly yours, chasing goals that aren't aligned with your authentic self, all in the name of seeking approval. But when you let go of the need for others' validation, you free yourself from those constraints. You create space to live your life on your own terms, to pursue the goals that are truly meaningful to you, and to become the person you are meant to be. The irony of seeking approval is that the more you crave it, the more you may find it slipping away from you. People can sense when you are desperately seeking their approval, and it often creates a sense of disconnection. Authentic relationships are built on mutual respect and acceptance, not on the constant need for validation. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to attract people who appreciate you for who you truly are. You become magnetic in your authenticity, and the right people begin to gravitate toward you naturally. The relationships you form are no longer based on superficial validation, but on real connection. In truth, seeking validation from others is a form of self-doubt. It is the belief that you are not enough on your own. But once you recognize that you are the source of your own worth, you become unshakable. No one's opinion can sway you because you are rooted in the truth of who you are. You no longer need anyone's permission to be yourself, to pursue your dreams, or to live the life you desire. You are the source, and your reality must align with that truth. In letting go of the need for approval, you unlock your true power. You reclaim your sovereignty, your confidence, and your peace of mind. You step into a life where you no longer rely on anyone else to tell you who you are or what you are capable of. You know deep within yourself that you are already enough, and that truth transforms everything. The moment you stop seeking approval from others, your life begins to unfold in ways you never thought possible. You become the creator of your own reality, and the reflection of who you truly are will be the only validation you ever need. Choosing yourself means committing to the vision you hold for your life, even when that vision is not yet visible in the physical world. It is the act of standing firm in the unseen, of holding unwavering faith in what you have assumed to be true about your life, your potential, and your future. This is where the power lies, in your ability to persist in the face of uncertainty, to trust that the assumptions you hold about yourself will eventually materialize into concrete reality. When you choose yourself, you are not simply making a decision in the present moment. You are stepping into a future that already exists in your mind. You are making a commitment to live in alignment with the person you are becoming, not just the person you are right now. The moment you make this commitment, you begin to shift the very foundation of your reality. You stop waiting for external circumstances to change before you take action, and instead, you create the change within yourself first. The world does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you believe to be true. Your external reality is a direct reflection of the assumptions you hold about yourself and your life. If you believe that success is unattainable, or that you are incapable of achieving your dreams, the world will mirror those beliefs back to you. But when you choose to see yourself as capable, worthy, and deserving of everything you desire, the world begins to shift accordingly. The key is consistency. Your commitment to your own vision must be unwavering, regardless of the current circumstances. In the early stages of any vision, there may be doubt. There may be moments when the world around you does not reflect what you have imagined in your mind. You may question whether your dreams are truly possible and whether you have the strength to manifest them into existence. This is the moment where many people falter. They begin to doubt their own power and abandon the vision they once held so firmly. But it is in these moments of doubt that true commitment is tested. Commitment to your vision is not about a temporary decision to change your life. It is about standing firm in the face of adversity and trusting that the unseen will eventually manifest in the physical realm. This requires immense faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the power of your thoughts, and faith in the law that states that what you assume to be true will eventually harden into fact. The universe does not work on a timeline that matches your impatience. It works according to the alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. If you stay consistent, if you continue to align yourself with the vision of who you are becoming, that vision will eventually appear in your life. One of the most powerful truths about commitment is that it is a decision. You have the ability to choose your vision, and once you have made that choice, your task is to remain steadfast. It does not matter whether the road ahead seems clear or filled with obstacles. What matters is that you continue to walk toward your vision, knowing that every step brings you closer to it. The world will respond to the unwavering commitment you have made to yourself. The external circumstances will begin to shift. Opportunities will present themselves, and the right people will show up at the right time. The commitment to your own vision also requires you to let go of the need for validation from others. You must trust yourself enough to know that your vision is valid, even if others cannot see it yet. This is the essence of choosing yourself. Believing in your own vision, even when it exists only as a thought in your mind, and remaining committed to it until it manifests in the physical world. You must learn to silence the voices of doubt, both from within yourself and from others, and trust in your own inner guidance. Your vision is a reflection of your potential, and only you can bring it to life. When you commit to your own vision, you stop waiting for permission, approval, or validation from anyone else. You realize that the power to create your reality lies within you, and that nothing can stop you once you make the decision to believe in your own potential. The vision you hold for your life is not a fantasy. It is a blueprint for your future. It may take time for the physical world to catch up, but every moment of commitment brings you closer to making that vision a reality. The key to success lies in your unwavering commitment to your own vision, even when the path is unclear and the results are not immediately visible. The world will begin to mirror your assumptions. And as you continue to stay true to your vision, what was once invisible will begin to materialize in the physical realm. Your faith in yourself will become the driving force that propels you forward, and your belief in your own vision will shape the reality you experience. You are the creator of your own reality, and the moment you commit to your vision with unwavering faith, your world will transform. Choose yourself, stand firm in the unseen. Know that what you assume to be true will harden into fact. Your vision is already on its way to becoming a reality, and your commitment is the force that will make it so. The moment you decide to trust in your own power, everything will begin to shift. Everything changes the moment you decide. It is in that precise moment of internal shift where you make the conscious decision to move forward, to choose yourself, to embrace your worth, that the world begins to transform around you. This shift is not an external event that happens outside of you. It is a deeply personal and internal revolution. The decision to change comes from within, and once that decision is made, your outer reality follows suit, aligning with your newfound inner certainty. What once seemed distant or unattainable begins to be drawn toward you effortlessly, like magnets pulling objects into their orbit. Most people spend their lives waiting for external conditions to change before they make their own decision to step into their power. They wait for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, the approval of others, or the ideal set of conditions. But the truth is, waiting is the very thing that keeps them stuck. The moment you decide that you are worthy, that you are capable, and that you are ready to live the life you've always dreamed of, everything begins to change. The world does not respond to your external actions first. It responds to your internal beliefs and decisions. When you make that internal shift, you set in motion a chain of events that will transform your life in ways you never imagined possible. The decision is simple in theory, but often profound in its effect. It means choosing to trust in your ability to shape your own destiny, to step away from the influence of external forces, and to believe that you are deserving of everything you desire. This is not about waiting for approval or asking for permission. It is about acknowledging your own power and acting from a place of confidence and certainty. When you decide that something is yours, when you claim it with full conviction, the universe must rearrange itself to reflect that new belief. The moment you decide, the shift occurs, not only within you, but also in the very fabric of your reality. This decision does not always come with immediate evidence that things are changing, and that is the true test of faith. It takes trust to believe that the world is moving in alignment with your decision, even when the external world has yet to reflect it. This is where the magic happens. In the absence of tangible results, you must stand firm in your belief, knowing that the decision you made has already set the universe into motion. You may not see the fruits of your labor immediately, but trust that the internal shift you've made is already drawing the circumstances, opportunities, and people necessary for your success. What once seemed distant and out of reach begins to come closer, and what was once unattainable starts to become effortlessly within your grasp. The moment you decide, you are no longer at the mercy of your circumstances. You take back control. You stop playing the victim to life's unpredictability and instead step into your role as the creator of your own reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions now serve as the foundation for the life you are building, and everything around you begins to reflect that. This is the power of making a decision. It shifts your perception, and in doing so, it shifts your reality. It is also important to note that this shift does not always come with ease. The decision to change is often met with resistance, both from within yourself and from the world around you. Self-doubt may arise, old fears may resurface, and external obstacles may seem to block your path. But this is merely a sign that you are breaking through the old limitations, the old patterns that no longer serve you. Every challenge that arises is simply an opportunity for growth, for deeper conviction, and for solidifying your commitment to your vision. The resistance is not something to fear or avoid. It is part of the process of transformation. When you choose to embrace your power and make the decision to shift, you send a clear signal to the universe that you are ready. You are no longer waiting for life to happen to you. You are actively creating the life you want. As you persist in that decision, the world begins to rearrange itself to support your new direction. People, opportunities, resources, and circumstances that align with your vision will start to flow toward you. What once felt far off, out of reach, or impossible begins to show up in your life effortlessly, as if the universe is conspiring to make your dreams a reality. This is the magic of the decision. It may feel like nothing has changed on the surface, but beneath the surface, everything is moving. The internal shift you've made is the catalyst for everything that will follow. The moment you decide that your dreams are yours, they begin to take shape, and the universe begins to bring them to life. It is the simple act of choosing yourself, choosing your worth, and choosing your vision that makes all the difference. What once seemed impossible is now inevitable. What once seemed far away is now coming closer. The decision to choose yourself is the most powerful decision you will ever make. It is the moment you claim your power and embrace your potential. The moment you decide is the moment your reality begins to bend and shift in ways you never thought possible. The world will no longer be something that happens to you. It will be something that responds to you, aligning with the inner truth that you have already chosen. Everything changes the moment you decide. In conclusion, the power to change your life lies within the moment you decide to choose yourself. When you make that internal shift, everything around you begins to align with your new belief, and what once seemed distant becomes effortlessly drawn to you. You are the creator of your reality, and by committing to your vision, embracing your worth, and trusting in your own power, you unlock a world of endless possibility. The key is not to wait for permission, approval, or perfect circumstances. It is to step into your power now, knowing that the moment you decide, everything changes. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this transformative journey. The decision to choose yourself is the first step toward a life filled with purpose, abundance, and endless potential. I trust that you will embrace your own power and create the life you truly deserve. Thank you. Close your eyes and step into the world where all things are possible. Time is not your master. 4 minutes is all it takes to reshape your reality. Begin with a single truth. What you desire is already yours. Feel it not as something you are waiting for, but as something that exists now. See it in your mind's eye. Touch it. Breathe it in. How does it feel to already have it? Let the sensation flood your being. In this sacred moment, do not ask, assume. The moment you desire a thing, you create a division between you and it. Instead, step into the version of yourself that already possesses it. If wealth is your goal, feel the weight of abundance in your hands. If love is your wish, feel the warmth of its embrace. For 4 minutes, rest in the feeling of fulfillment. Silently, with absolute conviction, accept it as done. Do not allow doubt to creep in. There is no need to force, no need to question. Simply rest in the knowing. And when you open your eyes, walk as though the world has already shifted. Because it has. The moment you assume and accept, the unseen forces of reality begin to move in your favor. The bridge of events will unfold naturally. Doubt not, resist not. Your only task is to remain faithful to what you have accepted as true. This is how creation works. This is how reality bends. This is how you manifest in 4 minutes. The mind is the architect of reality, the unseen force shaping the world before the eyes ever behold it. Every event, every circumstance, every so-called coincidence is but the outward reflection of an inner world long set into motion by thought. This is the great secret that governs existence. What you consistently imagine with conviction will find its way into your experience. It is not a matter of chance, nor is it a question of effort. It is the law of being. Look around at the world and you will see a vast ocean of manifestations, each born from the silent workings of the mind. A man who constantly dwells in thoughts of failure will find himself surrounded by conditions that affirm his deepest fears. His struggles will not appear to him as self-created, but rather as circumstances imposed upon him by life. Yet another, filled with quiet assurance and the unwavering conviction of success, will move through life with an ease that others mistake for luck. His reality bends to his assumptions, and opportunities seem to seek him out rather than the other way around. The difference between these two men is not in their abilities, not in their education, nor in the advantages bestowed upon them by birth, but rather in the state of mind they persistently occupy. Thought is the unseen origin of all things. Before anything can be touched, seen, or experienced, it must first exist in the realm of imagination. A house is first envisioned by an architect before a single brick is laid. A melody is heard in the composer's mind before it is ever played on an instrument. A great empire is built upon ideas long before its foundations are set in stone. There is no separation between the mind and reality. One flows directly into the other. Most people believe in an external world that is independent of them, a world that acts upon them without regard for their inner state. They believe that life is something to be reacted to, something that happens to them, rather than something that emerges from within. But this is the greatest illusion of all. The world does not shape you, you shape the world. Every experience is but a mirror reflecting the images you persistently entertain in your mind. To test this truth, one need only look to their past. Recall a time when a deep fear seemed to come true, when something you worried about for weeks or months finally materialized before you. Was it truly fate, or was it the inevitable unfolding of a mental state that had been nurtured for too long? Likewise, consider those moments of serendipity, when something you once imagined with great intensity suddenly became real, the job you visualized yourself in, the unexpected meeting with someone you had been thinking of, the sudden turn of fortune. All these are nothing more than reflections of the inner world made manifest. What you imagine with feeling, you invite into your life. It does not matter whether your imaginings are deliberate or unconscious, the law makes no distinction. Hold an idea in your mind with strong emotion, and life will conspire to make it real. The wise man does not leave his mind to wander in the fields of fear, doubt, and limitation. He understands that every thought sown will bring forth a harvest in time. Therefore, he carefully selects the ideas he entertains, knowing that they will soon take form. If you would change your life, you must first change the images you hold within. Do not wait for external circumstances to improve before allowing yourself to feel different. Change the feeling first, and the world will follow. Live now in the assumption that your desires are already yours. Walk with the certainty that what you imagine with conviction must come to pass. Life has no choice but to reflect what you impress upon it. The world is not separate from you, it is you. It is the shadow cast by the light of your own mind. When you awaken to this truth, you will no longer see yourself as subject to fate, but as the master of your own reality. What you imagine, with belief and persistence, will unfold before you. This is not philosophy, it is law. Desire in its purest form is not a signal to hope or beg. It is an invitation to assume, to accept, that what you seek is already yours. The greatest mistake people make is believing that wanting something intensely will bring it closer. But longing only affirms separation. To desire from a place of lack is to declare that you do not have. And in doing so, you ensure that you never will. The secret is not in wishing nor in hoping, but in assuming. Assuming that your wish is already fulfilled, that it is not something to come, but something that already exists within you. To assume the wish fulfilled is to move beyond doubt, beyond effort, beyond waiting. It is to step into the reality where your desire has already materialized. You do not need to see it with your eyes or touch it with your hands. You need only feel it in your heart and mind as though it were real. This feeling, this inner knowing, is the bridge between imagination and reality. All creation begins with this simple yet profound shift in consciousness. Consider a person who longs for financial freedom. If they spend their days yearning, worrying, and counting every penny, they only reinforce the idea that wealth is absent. Their thoughts and feelings are occupied with lack, and so lack must continue to appear in their world. But if this person were to assume the wish fulfilled, if they were to carry themselves with the quiet assurance that their wealth already exists, that their needs are already met, their reality would soon mirror this state of mind. They would no longer approach life from a position of desperation, but from one of abundance. They would think, speak, and act as someone who already possesses what they once only desired. And in doing so, they would align with the conditions necessary for its manifestation. The same principle applies to love, health, success, or any other aspiration. A person who desires love but feels lonely will continue to attract loneliness. But the one who assumes they are already deeply loved, who feels the warmth of love before it has visibly appeared, will find that love must come to them. Their assumption draws the unseen into the seen, the formless into form. This is not a matter of pretending or wishful thinking. It is a deliberate shift in consciousness, a quiet yet unwavering conviction that reality has already changed. The world may not yet reflect this change, but that is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the inner state, for the world cannot help but conform to what is impressed upon the mind. Doubt is the only enemy of assumption. Many will assume for a moment, only to let their senses convince them otherwise. They will look at their external circumstances, see no immediate change, and allow fear to creep back in. But assumption requires faith. Not blind faith, but the kind of faith that comes from knowing that what you feel within must manifest without. It is the understanding that the seen world is always playing catch-up to the unseen world of imagination. To live as though your desire is already fulfilled is to break free from limitation. It is to step outside of time, to recognize that creation is finished and all that is left is for you to align with what is already yours. This does not mean forcing things to happen. It means surrendering to the truth that they have already happened in the only place that matters, your consciousness. Persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled even when nothing seems to change, especially then. The moment you decide that something is real for you, it begins to take shape. You may not see the path, but the path will unfold. You may not know how, but the how is irrelevant. Your only task is to remain faithful to the assumption that it is done. When you do, life will move in ways you could never predict, shifting circumstances, rearranging people and events to align with your inner world. This is the law of assumption. It is the key to effortless manifestation, not hoping, not waiting, assuming. When you fully accept this, you will realize that you are not a victim of chance, nor a beggar at the mercy of fate. You are the creator of your reality, shaping the world not by force, but by the simple act of knowing it is already yours. The greatest misconception about manifestation is the belief that it takes time. People assume that their desires must unfold gradually, that they must wait patiently for external circumstances to change, but this is not the truth. Manifestation does not require time, it requires belief. The only reason something appears to be delayed is because of the mind's attachment to the illusion of time. The moment you accept that what you desire already exists now, in this very moment, you break free from the limitations of waiting, hoping, and striving. Time itself is not real in the way people perceive it. It is not something moving outside of you. It is a construct of the mind, a way to organize experiences. In reality, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The past is nothing more than a collection of memories, and the future is simply a projection of thought. The only thing that is ever real, ever truly present, is this moment, right now. And in this moment, you have the power to shift your reality by assuming the state of being that aligns with your desire. The mistake most people make is placing their desires in the future. They think one day I will have what I want, one day I will be happy, one day things will change, but one day never comes because the mind is always experiencing now. If you mentally place your desire in the future, it will always remain there, just out of reach. Always something you are striving toward rather than something you possess. The key is to bring your desire into the present, to feel right now as though it is already true. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because the only thing that truly exists is this moment, and whatever you accept as real in this moment must become your experience. If you want wealth, you must feel wealthy now. If you desire love, you must feel loved now. If you seek success, you must embody it now. The external world is not separate from you. It is a reflection of the state of being you occupy in the present. Some may argue, but I cannot see my desire in front of me, so how can I believe it is already mine? This is where faith becomes essential. Not faith in something outside of you, but faith in the unseen reality within you. Everything that has ever been created began in the invisible realm of thought, before it became tangible. A great musician hears a melody in his mind before it is played. An architect sees a completed building in his imagination before the first brick is laid. They do not doubt the reality of their vision simply because it is not yet visible to others. They know that what exists within must eventually take form without. Your reality does not shift because of external effort, it shifts because of inner certainty. When you accept without hesitation that what you desire is already done, your world must conform to that assumption. The key is to stop waiting for proof before you believe. Proof does not come first. Belief does. People say, I will believe it when I see it. But the truth is, you will see it when you believe it. When you live in the present moment as though your desire is already fulfilled, you send a powerful command to reality. You declare that there is no separation between you and what you seek. And because the universe only reflects your state of being, it has no choice but to bring forth experiences that match what you assume to be true. This is why those who worry find more things to worry about. This is why those who complain continue to attract circumstances that justify their complaints. And this is why those who dwell in gratitude, in the feeling of already having what they want, experience the unfolding of their desires effortlessly. The present moment is the only creative force. So let go of the illusion of time. Stop looking to the future for change. Instead, embody the feeling of already having it. Breathe in the joy of fulfillment. Walk, speak, and think as though your desire is already yours, because it is. The only thing separating you from it is the belief that you must wait. But the moment you drop that belief, the moment you accept that now is the only moment that exists, you will see that what you desire was never far away. It was always here, waiting for you to claim it. One of the greatest obstacles to manifestation is the mind's obsession with how things will unfold. The human tendency is to analyze, to control, to predict every possible step that must happen for a desire to materialize. But this very need for control is what creates resistance. It is what keeps your manifestation at a distance. The truth is, you do not need to figure out how it will happen. Your only task is to assume that it is already done and feel it as real. The unseen forces of creation will handle the rest. Most people struggle with this because they have been conditioned to believe that effort, struggle, and logical planning are necessary for success. They believe that if they do not personally intervene and force things into place, their desires will remain unfulfilled. But manifestation does not work this way. The moment you assume the state of already having what you want, unseen forces begin to move on your behalf. The right people, circumstances, and opportunities will appear in ways you could never have predicted. This does not mean you must sit idly and do nothing. It means you must act from a place of knowing rather than a place of striving. If an inspired idea comes to you, follow it. If an opportunity presents itself, take it. But do not waste your energy trying to map out the path before it even appears. The universe has infinite ways to bring your desire to you, ways that your rational mind could never conceive. When you insist on figuring out how it will happen, you limit the possibilities. You restrict the flow of creation by clinging to one narrow path, when in reality, countless paths exist. Consider a person who desires financial abundance. If they assume the wish fulfilled, feeling wealthy and secure, they align themselves with the energy of prosperity. But if they simultaneously obsess over how the money will come, whether through a job, an investment, or a sudden opportunity, they introduce resistance. Their focus shifts from having to waiting. They unknowingly affirm that their desire is not yet here, and by doing so, they delay its arrival. The same applies to relationships, health, success, anything you seek to manifest. The how is never your responsibility. Your responsibility is to live in the end result, to dwell in the feeling of already having it. Imagine placing an order at a restaurant. You do not follow the chef into the kitchen, questioning every step of the cooking process. You simply place your order and trust that it will arrive. This is how manifestation works. Assume it is done and let the unseen forces of creation take care of the details. Doubt only arises when you entertain how. If you constantly ask, how will this happen? Is it even possible? What if things don't work out? You are shifting your energy from faith to uncertainty. You are telling yourself that you do not fully believe in the reality of your desire. But when you let go, when you surrender the need to control, you free yourself from resistance. You allow the unseen forces to arrange circumstances in the most effortless way. This is why so many manifestations happen in unexpected ways. You may assume financial abundance, expecting it to come through a promotion, but instead it arrives through an unforeseen opportunity. You may desire love, expecting it to appear in a specific way, but instead it comes through an entirely different path. The universe is not limited by human logic. It operates beyond what the mind can perceive. To truly master manifestation, you must detach from the how and trust in the unseen. The moment you assume your wish is fulfilled, the wheels of creation are set in motion. The bridge of events will unfold naturally. Your only job is to persist in the feeling of already having it, to walk in faith rather than fear. If you can do this, if you can release the need for control and trust in the infinite intelligence that governs all things, you will witness the effortless unfolding of your desires. It is done. All you must do is allow it to come. The moment you decide to manifest a new reality, your mind will rise in protest. It will question, it will doubt, and it will remind you of past failures. It will try to convince you that what you seek is impossible, that you must rely on effort, struggle, and logic. This voice of limitation is not your truth. It is the residue of old conditioning, the remnants of a belief system that has kept you bound to what you see rather than what you know to be real. If you want to manifest successfully, you must learn to silence this doubt and persist in your assumption, for the world always bends to the one who refuses to waver. Doubt is nothing more than a habit of the mind. It arises because you have been taught to believe in appearances rather than in the unseen power within you. You have been conditioned to trust what your physical senses show you rather than what you inwardly feel to be true. But understand this: reality is not shaped by what you currently see. It is shaped by what you accept as real within. The moment you allow doubt to take root, you disrupt the process of creation. You begin to oscillate between belief and disbelief, weakening your assumption and prolonging the manifestation of your desire. This is why persistence is the key. You must stand firm in your assumption, regardless of what the outer world reflects. If you declare yourself wealthy, but your bank account shows otherwise, ignore it. If you affirm love, but circumstances seem unchanged, pay them no mind. The external world is merely a shadow of your past thoughts. It has no power except the power you give it through your attention. The moment you shift your focus from what is to what must be, the transformation begins. Most people fail to manifest because they allow doubt to dictate their actions. They assume their desire is fulfilled for a moment, But when they do not see immediate results, they fall into fear and disbelief. They check for signs, they question whether it is working, and in doing so, they undo their own progress. Manifestation requires unwavering faith. It requires you to hold your assumption as truth, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. Think of a sculptor who is shaping a masterpiece. He does not become discouraged when the block of stone does not yet resemble his vision. He knows that the form exists within, waiting to be revealed. He does not question whether it will appear, he simply continues his work with certainty. In the same way, you must persist in your assumption, knowing that reality is conforming even if the evidence has not yet materialized. Doubt is nothing but fear disguised as logic. It whispers, what if this does not work? What if I am fooling myself? But these are empty questions, designed to keep you trapped in limitation. Instead of entertaining them, replace them with certainty. I know it is done. I know my assumption creates reality. I do not need to see proof. I am the proof. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting only gives it more power. Instead, observe it like a passing cloud, acknowledging that it has no substance. Return to your assumption, feel the reality of your desire fulfilled. Walk as the person who already has it. Speak as the person who already possesses it. The mind may resist at first, but if you persist, it will eventually surrender. And when it does, the world will reflect your unwavering belief. There is no force greater than a mind that refuses to be swayed. The external world is malleable, shaped by the conviction of your inner world. The ones who succeed in manifestation are not those who never experience doubt, but those who refuse to let doubt dictate their reality. They persist when others waver. They hold firm when others give in. And because of this, they always see their desires come to pass. Your task is simple. Ignore the voice of limitation. When doubt speaks, do not answer. When fear rises, do not bow to it. Your assumption is the only truth. Persist in it, embody it, and the world will bend to your belief. Gratitude is not just a polite expression, it is a powerful force that seals manifestation. It is the ultimate act of faith, a silent declaration that what you desire is already yours. When you give thanks as if you have already received, you shift your consciousness from wanting to having, and in doing so you align yourself with the reality of your fulfilled desire. This is the key to effortless manifestation. Most people use gratitude reactively. They express thanks only after something good happens, believing that gratitude is a response rather than a cause. But gratitude is far more than a mere reaction. It is a state of being, a magnetic energy that draws into your life the very things you give thanks for. When you cultivate gratitude before your desire has physically appeared, you confirm that you already possess it in consciousness. And since consciousness is the only reality, this unseen possession must externalize itself into form. Gratitude works because it eliminates doubt. When you truly feel grateful for something, there is no question in your mind about whether or not you have it. Imagine receiving a long-awaited gift. You do not sit there wondering if it is real, nor do you question if it will be taken away. You simply enjoy it, feeling the warmth of appreciation. This is the exact state you must assume before your manifestation appears. When you give thanks as though your desire has already come to pass, you dissolve all resistance, leaving no room for fear or uncertainty. The mind is at peace because it has accepted the wish as fulfilled. Many fail to manifest because they remain stuck in a state of wanting. They affirm their desires, visualize them, and even believe in them, but they do so from a place of lack. They still feel separate from what they want, and this separation keeps their desires at a distance. Gratitude bridges that gap. It transforms the feeling of "I hope it happens" into "I know it is done." The moment you give thanks for something, you claim ownership of it. You affirm its presence in your life. And because reality reflects your state of being, it must appear. The secret to effective gratitude is feeling. Words alone are not enough. Simply saying "I am grateful" without embodying the emotion is mechanical and powerless. True gratitude is felt in the heart, a deep and unwavering knowing that you have received what you asked for. You must feel the joy, relief, and satisfaction of already having it. This feeling impresses the subconscious mind, which then sets into motion the events necessary to bring your desire into physical form. Gratitude also accelerates manifestation because it keeps you in harmony with your desired reality. Many people sabotage their desires by constantly checking for results, wondering if it is working or doubting whether they will receive what they asked for. But a grateful person does not check, does not doubt, does not question. They know it is done, and so they rest in the feeling of completion. This unwavering certainty speeds up the process, for the outer world must conform to the inner world. To apply this in your life, begin and end each day with gratitude. Before you sleep, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and give thanks as though it has already manifested. Feel the joy of receiving it, the peace of knowing it is done. Let this be the last impression upon your mind before you drift into sleep. For whatever you impress upon your subconscious in this drowsy state will take root and bear fruit. Throughout your day, practice gratitude for everything, both seen and unseen. Be thankful for the things you already have, and be equally grateful for the things that are on their way. This attitude of continuous appreciation keeps you in alignment with abundance, ensuring that more flows into your life effortlessly. When you master gratitude in this way, manifestation becomes natural. You no longer beg, chase, or wonder how things will unfold. You simply give thanks, knowing that your world is shaped by your inner state. And since gratitude is the highest confirmation of possession, what you desire must come to pass. Manifestation is not about effort, struggle, or waiting for things to change. It is about knowing, assuming, and feeling as if your desire is already yours. Your imagination creates reality. What you hold in your mind with conviction becomes your experience. The moment you assume the wish fulfilled, without doubt, without hesitation, you shift into the reality where it already exists. Time is an illusion. What you seek is here and now. The only thing that delays it is your attachment to how it will happen. Let go of the need to control and trust that the unseen forces of creation will bring it to you in the most perfect way. Silence the doubt, for it is nothing but a habit of the mind. Ignore the voice of limitation, and the world will bend to your belief. And above all, seal your manifestation with gratitude. Give thanks as if you have already received it, for this is the final act of faith that solidifies your reality. You are the creator of your life. Everything you desire is already within you, waiting for your acceptance. Manifestation is not a matter of time, it is a matter of belief. Assume, persist, and give thanks, and it must come to pass. Thank you. Sit still for a moment and close your eyes. Now listen carefully. What if I told you that love, real love, was never something you had to struggle for? That the one meant for you has already been woven into the fabric of your destiny. You see, when someone is for you, there is no battle, no turmoil, no questioning. The heart, in its wisdom, knows before the mind ever catches up. It whispers, "This is it." And in that whisper, there is no fear, no doubt, only truth. You do not chase what is divinely yours. Love that belongs to you moves toward you effortlessly. It is drawn to you by the state of your being, by the energy you carry within. The world has conditioned you to believe that you must prove your worth, that you must fight for affection. But that is not the way of true love. When someone is meant for you, they come with ease. Not because life is free of challenges, but because love, real love, does not require force. It does not exhaust you. It does not leave you anxious or desperate. Instead, it feels like home. Have you ever met someone and felt an unexplainable peace in their presence? A knowing that transcends logic? That is not an accident. That is not random. It is alignment. It is a sign that your souls recognize each other beyond words, beyond time. You will notice how they mirror your own inner world. If you are at peace within yourself, they will reflect that peace. If you are whole within, they will complement that wholeness. But if you are lost, they will only amplify that feeling. This is why you must first become what you seek. The universe speaks in synchronicities. It orchestrates encounters at the perfect moment, not a second too soon, not a second too late. And when that person arrives, it is as if every event in your life has led to this point. There is no struggle, no need to convince, only the quiet certainty that they are a part of your story. So if you must force it, if you must chase, if you must plead, step back. Because what is truly yours will never require you to break yourself to keep it. Trust the feeling. When someone is for you, you will know. And that knowing will be the most peaceful thing you have ever felt. There's a quiet power in knowing. Not the kind of knowing that comes from logic, reasoning, or external validation, but the knowing that rises from within, steady and unshaken. When someone is meant for you, this is the feeling that settles in your heart, a certainty that does not waver in the face of time, distance, or circumstance. It is not a desperate clinging, nor is it an anxious waiting. Instead, it is a deep-rooted assurance that transcends doubt. You do not ask yourself 1,000 questions, searching for hidden signs or overanalyzing every word, every action. There is no need to seek constant reassurance because the connection itself provides it. The right person does not leave you in a state of confusion. They do not make you wonder where you stand. Their presence alone is enough to calm the restless mind and soothe the uncertain heart. Many have been conditioned to believe that love should be dramatic, full of highs and lows, a never-ending chase that keeps the heart in suspense. But love that is divinely meant does not come with this exhausting uncertainty. It does not feel like walking on eggshells, waiting for the moment everything falls apart. It does not leave you questioning your worth, wondering if you are enough, or fearing that you must do more to be loved. True love arrives with quiet conviction. There is an undeniable peace that accompanies it. Even if life presents obstacles, even if the journey is not without challenges, there is never a question of whether this person is meant to be in your life. You simply know, not because they have promised you, not because they have sworn loyalty, but because something within you recognizes them. It is not about perfection. It is not about having a connection free of disagreements or difficulties. But even in those moments of contrast, there is no underlying fear of loss. When someone is truly meant for you, there is no need to grip tightly, to control, to manipulate outcomes. The connection holds itself. It does not need force. It does not need games. There is a trust that extends beyond words, a trust that allows love to breathe, to flow naturally, to exist without fear. You will notice it in the way you feel around them. Your soul is at rest. Your heart is not racing out of panic, not beating with the fear of abandonment. Instead, it expands. It feels safe. The mind does not run in circles, crafting scenarios of what could go wrong. It does not live in the past, haunted by what once was, nor does it rush into the future, anxiously trying to secure something that is already yours. This is the divine assurance that cannot be faked, cannot be forced. If you must constantly seek reassurance, if you must convince yourself that this is right, then perhaps it is not. The heart, when aligned, does not require convincing. It does not cling to illusions or try to make something fit that was never meant to. When someone is for you, you will feel it in their presence, in the ease with which they communicate, in the depth of their understanding. You will not have to question their intentions, nor will you feel the need to prove your worth. They will see you, truly see you, and in that seeing there will be acceptance. This certainty is not dependent on their words, their promises, or their actions alone. It is something you recognize beyond all of that. It is a feeling that sits in your spirit, a knowing that cannot be shaken by temporary circumstances. Even if paths separate, even if life leads you in different directions, that certainty remains. It is the quiet understanding that no matter where life takes you, this connection is real. So, let go of the need to force, to chase, to demand proof. What is meant for you does not require you to beg for it. Love that is true arrives with a knowing, a peace that does not leave you wondering. And when it is right, you will feel it. Not in anxiety, not in desperation, but in the deepest calm you have ever known. Love that is meant for you is not something you have to fight for. It is not something you have to beg, plead, or manipulate in order to make it happen. This kind of love flows effortlessly, like a river that knows exactly where it is going, carving its path through the landscape with gentle persistence, without force or struggle. There is a beauty in the natural rhythm of love, a flow that moves according to the laws of the universe, not by the will of a single individual trying to make it conform to their desires. When love is truly meant for you, it never requires you to bend or change yourself in order to fit into someone else's world. You do not need to shape-shift, to perform, or to mask who you are. It allows you to be yourself, fully and unapologetically. It doesn't demand that you prove your worth or run after it, frantically chasing after something that feels just out of reach. Instead, love flows in the way it was always intended, finding its way into your life when the time is right. So many people believe that love is something they must earn, that they must work tirelessly to win someone's heart. They feel that they must do everything in their power to make themselves indispensable, to secure their place in someone's life. But love that is meant for you does not need these games. It does not require manipulation or pressure. It is not about forcing the outcome or trying to control someone's feelings. True love is not about creating a situation where someone has no choice but to love you. It is about an organic connection that arises naturally, as though it has always been meant to be. When you stop forcing things, when you release the need to chase after love, you open yourself up to receive it. You allow yourself to trust in the natural unfolding of life. The right people, the right relationships come into your life without you having to orchestrate their arrival. Love arrives on its own terms, not because you forced it into existence, but because the timing is right and the connection is true. Like the river finding its way to the sea, love moves according to a flow that cannot be rushed or manipulated. When you feel the need to chase, to convince someone of your worth, it is often a sign that you are operating from a place of fear or lack. You fear that love may slip away from you, that you might lose it if you don't hold on tight enough. But this fear only creates resistance, and love cannot flourish in an environment of resistance. Just as a flower cannot bloom when it is suffocated, love cannot thrive when it is forced or controlled. In those moments when you let go of the need to chase, when you stop trying to make things happen on your terms, you create space for love to enter your life naturally. You stop running after something that isn't meant to be, and instead you align with what is. The energy you put out into the world when you stop chasing is one of acceptance, trust, and patience. It is an energy that welcomes love rather than trying to manipulate it into being. And this is where the magic happens. When you allow love to find you on its own, it comes in its most authentic form. It doesn't feel forced, awkward, or unnatural. It is a peaceful, flowing connection that deepens without effort. Love in its purest form requires no chasing, no begging, no pleading. It arrives when you stop striving for it, when you let go of the belief that you must do something to deserve it. Love that is meant for you will never leave you constantly wondering if it will stay. It will never leave you in a state of doubt or anxiety, because it will be a love that is secure in its existence. It won't have to be forced to last. It will grow naturally as you grow, as you evolve, and as life brings you closer together. The more you relax into the knowing that love will find you when the time is right, the more effortlessly it flows toward you. So release the need to chase. Let go of the notion that you must manipulate circumstances to bring love into your life. Trust that the love that is truly meant for you will arrive exactly when it should, without force, without chase, and without struggle. Just as the river finds its course, love will find its way to you, and when it does, you will feel the effortless flow that comes with it. When you are in the presence of the right person, there is a profound sense of peace that settles in your being. It is as though everything in the universe aligns in perfect harmony, and in that moment you are exactly where you need to be. The feeling is not fleeting or dependent on external circumstances. It is a deep, unwavering calmness that arises naturally from the connection between two souls who are meant to meet. This peace is not like the temporary tranquility that comes from a fleeting moment of joy or contentment. It is a lasting, steady presence that lingers even in the face of challenges. When you are with someone who is truly meant for you, your spirit feels at ease. There is no unease or restlessness, no searching for something more, no sense that you need to prove anything to them or yourself. It's as if your soul recognizes a familiar rhythm in their being, a rhythm that matches your own, and in that recognition, peace blooms. Unlike the relationships that are often driven by insecurity, where the mind races with thoughts of, what if this person leaves, or what if I'm not enough, true peace in a relationship is free from these fears. There is no anxiety about losing them, no fear of their love fading away. The connection is not fragile and it does not require constant validation or reassurance. Instead, it is grounded in a mutual understanding and respect that fosters an unshakable calmness. In the presence of the right person, you feel no need to prove your worth, to perform, or to seek approval. There is no pressure to be something you're not, because you are accepted in your truest form. The right person sees you for who you truly are, and this recognition brings with it a sense of liberation. You do not feel the need to change yourself to fit their expectations, nor do you feel the weight of fear, wondering if you are enough. The peace that surrounds you in their presence comes from the deep knowing that you are already enough, just as you are. This sense of peace also extends to how you interact with the world. When you are with the right person, the chaos of the outside world can fade into the background. It doesn't mean that life stops being challenging or that there won't be moments of difficulty, but in those moments you still feel a sense of calm, knowing that you are not facing life's challenges alone. The right person becomes a steady anchor, a safe harbor in the storm, offering both emotional and spiritual support. You feel empowered by the connection rather than drained or burdened by it. When you are truly at peace with someone, there is a quiet knowing that this connection does not need to be forced. You are not clinging to them for fear of being alone, nor are you trying to manipulate the circumstances to keep them close. The relationship flows naturally, with both individuals respecting each other's space and independence while still maintaining a deep bond. The absence of tension allows for the relationship to grow and evolve at its own pace, free from the need for control or interference. There is also an emotional maturity that comes with this peace. When you are with the right person, you are able to express your feelings without fear of judgment. There is no emotional manipulation, no drama, no trying to elicit a response. Communication flows openly, honestly, and without fear of misinterpretation. You are able to express your needs and desires without hesitation, and you trust that your feelings will be met with understanding and compassion. This level of emotional security fosters an environment where both individuals feel safe to be vulnerable and authentic. The sense of peace you experience in their presence isn't based on temporary conditions or superficial promises. It is built on a foundation of trust, mutual respect, and emotional safety. There is no urgency, no rushing to solidify the relationship or to control its outcome. You both trust that the connection will unfold naturally in its own time, and that the bond between you is already strong enough to withstand whatever life may throw your way. When someone is right for you, your spirit feels at ease because you have found a place where you can simply be. There is no pressure to conform, no fear of being abandoned or unworthy. In their presence, you are reminded of who you are at your core, and that reminder brings a deep, unwavering peace. The relationship flows with ease because it is based on a profound connection that transcends the need for validation or constant reassurance. It is a love that simply is, and in that being you find the greatest peace. of all. The person meant for you is not someone who fills a void or completes you in a way that suggests you are lacking. Instead, they are a reflection of the love, growth, and wholeness that already exist within you. They mirror the person you have become through your own journey, and their presence in your life enhances the completeness you already possess. This kind of connection is not about seeking out someone to fix or save you. It is about two whole individuals coming together to complement each other, bringing even greater richness to each other's lives. When you are aligned with your own inner state, when you know who you are, when you are in touch with your own value and purpose, you begin to attract relationships that reflect that. The person meant for you will show up as a mirror, revealing the depth of your own soul, the strength and beauty that you have cultivated over time. They will not reflect your insecurities or your sense of lacking. Instead, they will highlight your growth, your wisdom, and your capacity for love. They are drawn to the light within you, and they reflect it back to you in ways that reinforce your own self-worth. This kind of love does not create dependency. It does not suggest that one person needs to rely on the other for validation or completeness. Rather, it is a partnership where both individuals are already whole, yet they come together to enhance each other's lives in unique and beautiful ways. When two people are already fully aware of their own value, they enter a relationship not to fulfill a need, but to share and amplify what they already carry within. Each person adds something special to the other's life, but neither sees the other as their missing piece. It is essential to recognize that when you are truly whole within yourself, you attract relationships that honor that wholeness. The person who is meant for you will see you for who you truly are, not as someone they need to change or fix. They will recognize your worth, your journey, and the growth that you have experienced, and they will value you for everything that you already are. This mutual recognition creates a sense of respect, love, and appreciation that deepens over time. The relationship with the right person will allow you to continue growing, but not because you need to grow to become whole. Rather, you will grow together, supporting each other in the evolution of your individual and collective selves. Each person encourages the other to reach their highest potential. But this growth is a natural process that happens within the context of mutual respect and love. There is no pressure to change who you are or to become someone else to make the relationship work. You both accept and love each other as you are, while simultaneously inspiring each other to evolve and thrive. The person meant for you will complement your life in such a way that both of you flourish. This is not about one person overshadowing the other or seeking validation. It is about two individuals who recognize and celebrate each other's uniqueness, each contributing their own gifts to the partnership. There is no sense of competition, no comparison. Instead, there is a deep understanding that each person is valuable in their own right, and together they create something even more beautiful. Love that is based on this kind of mutual wholeness does not create feelings of inadequacy. There is no anxiety about not measuring up, no fear of being abandoned because you are not enough. The right person will never make you feel that you are incomplete. Instead, they will celebrate your individuality, your passions, and your dreams, and they will walk alongside you as a partner, not as someone who needs to fix you or fill the spaces that you believe are empty. In this kind of relationship, you both bring your best selves to the table, and this shared wholeness creates a strong, enduring bond. You are not reliant on each other to complete your identity. Instead, you complement each other, adding value to each other's lives in ways that are both subtle and profound. This is the beauty of a relationship where two people come together not as halves, but as two fully realized individuals who recognize, honor, and celebrate each other's completeness. The person meant for you will not force you to become someone you are not. They will reflect back to you the love and strength you have cultivated within, and in doing so, they will inspire you to continue growing into the best version of yourself. This kind of love is not about completion, it is about celebration. It is about coming together with someone who mirrors your growth, your wholeness, and your capacity for love, and building something even more extraordinary together. The right connection will never drain your energy or leave you feeling depleted. Instead, it will align with your purpose, support your vision, and uplift your journey in ways that enhance and empower you. True connections are not meant to deplete you, they are meant to inspire and elevate your life, complementing your individual path while walking alongside you in harmony. When you are with the right person, you feel energized, motivated, and supported, rather than distracted or held back. Too often, people find themselves in relationships that drain their emotional and spiritual energy. They may find themselves constantly giving, sacrificing their time and energy to please the other person, and yet they receive little in return. These connections are based on resistance, an undercurrent of unspoken tension that creates imbalance. Instead of mutually nourishing and supporting one another, they exhaust you, leaving you feeling worn down and disconnected from your own life's purpose. In contrast, a connection that aligns with your true self will not force you to choose between your dreams and your relationship. It will enhance both. The right person will see your potential and will be your biggest supporter, not your biggest distraction. They will recognize your ambitions and respect your goals, not because they want something from you, but because they want to see you thrive. When two people are aligned with their true selves, the relationship becomes a source of mutual growth, where both individuals uplift one another and inspire each other to reach new heights. There is no sense of compromise when you are with someone who truly aligns with your life's purpose. A relationship based on true alignment does not require you to sacrifice who you are to make it work. It doesn't demand that you give up your dreams, your passions, or your personal growth. Instead, it nurtures them. The right person encourages you to follow your path, knowing that by doing so you are also contributing to the health and vibrancy of the relationship. A connection that is aligned with your purpose will allow you to remain focused on your vision without pulling you off course. Instead of creating conflict or chaos in your life, it offers peace and support, helping you to stay grounded while you pursue your dreams. When you are with someone who is aligned with your purpose, there is no tension over priorities. Both of you understand that each person has individual goals, and you respect and support each other's journeys. This alignment extends beyond just personal growth. It also affects how you interact with the world. The right connection will inspire you to be your best self in all areas of your life. It will push you to stretch beyond your limits, to challenge yourself in ways that contribute to your personal evolution. Rather than holding you back or trying to keep you in a box, the right relationship will encourage you to step into your full potential, even if that means growing beyond what you initially thought was possible. In relationships where there is alignment, you experience a sense of ease. There is no need to force things to work, no need to manipulate circumstances or fight for attention or approval. Everything flows naturally, because both people are in tune with each other's energies and aspirations. When you are with someone who shares the same values and has a similar vision for life, the relationship becomes a force that propels both individuals forward, rather than one that keeps them stuck in a state of constant struggle. Alignment doesn't mean that there will be no challenges. Every relationship has its obstacles. But when you are aligned with someone, the challenges you face together become opportunities for growth, not barriers to happiness. The right person will be someone who helps you face these challenges with strength and resilience, knowing that you are a team working toward common goals and values. Rather than dragging you down or distracting you from your path, they will support you in overcoming obstacles and help you stay focused on what truly matters. This connection, rooted in alignment, creates a sense of shared purpose. It doesn't require you to abandon your individuality or purpose for the sake of the relationship, but rather allows both of you to rise together. The right connection will always be there to encourage, support, and help guide you, whether it's through the highs or the lows. It will make your journey feel more fulfilling, enriching, and purposeful, never taking away from who you are, but always adding to it. When you're in the presence of the right connection, your energy will expand, not shrink. You will feel more connected to yourself and your purpose, with a renewed sense of clarity and determination. The right relationship will fuel your passion for life and enhance your vision, making the journey ahead feel lighter, more purposeful, and more aligned than ever before. When someone is meant for you, the universe doesn't just leave it to chance or coincidence. Instead, it orchestrates the connection with a divine precision, offering signs and synchronicities that are undeniable. These moments are not mere accidents or random events. They are the universe's way of guiding you toward the person you are meant to meet. The timing feels effortless, as if everything aligns in perfect harmony, and the connection unfolds naturally, without force or struggle. These signs might appear subtle, almost like whispers from the universe. You may notice repeated patterns, small occurrences that seem to happen again and again. Perhaps you both seem to share the same favorite song, or walk the same paths at the same time, or your lives seem to mirror each other in ways that are too significant to ignore. These aren't coincidences, they are clues, carefully placed markers on your journey to guide you toward this person. They are reminders that everything is unfolding as it should, and that your connection with this person is divinely orchestrated. The more you pay attention to these synchronicities, the clearer they become. What once seemed like random events or chance encounters now begins to feel like something much bigger at play. The universe is sending you signals, confirming that you are on the right path, that you are in the right place at the right time. These signs show you that the universe is working in your favor, aligning circumstances and events to bring you and this person together. And when you look back, you realize that the series of seemingly unimportant moments have led you to this very point. The timing of your meeting with the person who is meant for you is never forced or rushed. It occurs when the time is right, when both of you are ready for the connection. There is no pressure, no sense of urgency. Everything falls into place naturally. Perhaps your paths cross when you least expect it, or maybe you meet after both of you have undergone a period of personal growth, preparing you for the deep connection that is to come. The timing feels seamless, as though it was always meant to happen, but only at this precise moment in your lives. The universe's guidance can also come in the form of events or circumstances that push you toward this person. It might be a situation where you find yourself in the right place at the right time, or a chance meeting that leads to something much deeper. These moments feel like serendipity, as though the universe has conspired to bring you together. What may seem like a small, insignificant detail in the moment reveals itself as an essential part of your journey, a step toward the person who is meant to share your path. What is particularly remarkable about these synchronicities is the effortless flow they create. You do not need to force things to happen, nor do you need to struggle to make the connection work. It feels natural, like two pieces of a puzzle coming together effortlessly. You don't have to manipulate circumstances or chase after something that feels out of reach. Instead, everything unfolds in its own time, like the universe gently guiding you forward. The alignment between you and this person is undeniable, as if everything in your life has led you to this moment. The connection feels fated in a way that can't be explained by logic or reason. It transcends ordinary explanations, and even the most skeptical person can't help but acknowledge that something bigger is at play. It's not just about the way you feel when you meet or the way your connection deepens. It's about the entire experience, the way the universe seems to be signaling that this is the right time and the right person for you. Synchronicities can also come in the form of dreams, intuitive nudges, or moments of clarity. You might have an inner knowing, a gut feeling that this person is the one you've been waiting for. These feelings are not random, they are divine signals confirming that this is the right person at the right time. The universe speaks to you in many ways, and when you are in alignment with your true self, you are more attuned to these signs. When someone is for you, everything flows with ease. There are no roadblocks or unnecessary delays. The universe's guidance becomes apparent through the perfect timing, the repeated patterns, and the undeniable sense that things are unfolding exactly as they should. You feel a deep sense of trust, knowing that the connection is not a coincidence, but the result of divine timing and alignment. You are being guided to this person because they are meant to be a part of your journey, and the universe is confirming that this is exactly where you need to be. This experience teaches you to trust in the process of life and to have faith that everything happens when it is meant to. The right person comes into your life not because you forced it, but because the universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows that this is the perfect time for your paths to cross. The synchronicities are not random. They are the universe's way of showing you that you are exactly where you need to be, and that this connection is a vital part of your journey. In conclusion, when someone is truly meant for you, everything aligns in ways that are beyond the ordinary. The universe communicates with you through synchronicities, perfect timing, and patterns that can't be explained as mere coincidences. This connection is effortless, peaceful, and natural. It is not forced or hurried, but unfolds in divine timing. You feel a deep sense of peace, knowing that you are not chasing or struggling, but instead allowing the universe to guide you toward the right person. The person meant for you will reflect your inner state, align with your purpose, and uplift your journey. This relationship is a complement to your wholeness, never a force that drains or diminishes your essence. When the right person enters your life, everything falls into place, confirming that it was always meant to be. Thank you for taking the time to listen to these words. Trust that the right connection will come when the timing is right. And until then, allow the universe to guide you with its subtle, undeniable signs.